Ladies and gents, welcome. Good to see you. Thank you very much for stopping by, and welcome to the Tale of Two Castles. We have ACCM and Fire facing off in a Golden Pit game, an extraordinary Golden Pit game, and I'm going to get to that in just a moment. But first, I figured I'd probably explain what you're seeing right here. This is the Hidden Cup 3 casting overlay, at least the early version of it, and I'm going to explain how it works, what type of information we're looking at here, and just how beneficial this is to you guys as a viewer and myself as a caster. Now, months back, if you remember, there was this thing called Capture Age. It worked on classic Age of Empires, and the Capture Age team put thousands and thousands of hours into creating Capture Age. Then Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition came out, and there was no prioritization from Microsoft to get something like Capture Age, or even decent spec tools, into Age of Empires 2 DE. And so naturally, with Hidden Cup 3 coming, a few months ago, I contacted Capture Age and said, hey, is there going to be Capture Age? Is it going to be this? Is there going to be that? And they said, well, T90, we really want to work on something for you. And so with the support of all of you out there on YouTube, and the support, of course, on Twitch, I hope there will be plenty of support with Hidden Cup 3. I was able to sponsor them so they could put tons of time into creating this right here, and it works with Age of Empires 2 DE. So I should say, I'm uploading this before Hidden Cup 3. Hidden Cup 3 starts on Thursday. We're getting there. It's really, really close. I'd love to see you guys there. If you guys have any type of feedback or questions about this, I am going to do my best to show you right now. Please put it in the comments. I obviously can't promise that certain things are going to be implemented, but the purpose of uploading this ahead of time is to get you guys excited, to explain things, and also get your feedback. So, right off the bat, I'm just going to explain it. It's pretty simple, which is good, right? But I'm still going to explain it to you. You can see at the top, you can see the resources of each player. You can see the name. For Hidden Cup, we're going to have the heroes up here, the image for the heroes, but we just have the Mameluke up there since they're both playing as Saracens. See the total populations. This guy right here is the idle villager count. That's pretty cool. And then this is my favorite thing about the whole casting overlay. It shows the economy and it shows the military. And as the game goes on, and this is quite a long game, you'll get to see pretty clearly if someone has more economy and less military, or what also sometimes happens is less economy, more military. That's how Age of Empires 2 games play out. No longer do you need to worry about me selecting things and not being able to see crucial information at the bottom left. I can select things and check HP bars, which I often do. You guys can see all that information here at the bottom left. I'm on Fire's point of view. I'm going all around here, but you can see the eyeball. It shows which player's point of view I'm currently on. Of resources, we have the amount of each unit that is up. Also, if a unit's being created, you can see how many are queued up. I believe that's what that means, right? Like Fire right now, he doesn't have 2 villagers queued up. I'm not sure what the 2 means, actually. Oh, wait, no, what am I talking about? I'm looking at the wrong side, yeah. That means ACCM has 2 villagers queued up, and this means that Fire has 1 queued up out of just 1 building. And something you haven't seen yet is this. Oh! You can now see the eco upgrades, the university upgrades, notably ballistics, bloodlines if it's available, forging, blacksmith techs. It's awesome, all right? And then when technologies come in, just like our old casting overlays, we can see that on the screen. So, I did not practice this, okay? I did not write out a script to explain this, and best way for me to get experience myself is to actually cast games. So, apologies for the pretty awful casting overlay introduction. For Hidden Cup, you're not going to see many things that are on here. So this down here, all this stuff, this is what I'll see, but you guys won't see any of that. Ooh, ACCM Scouts getting trapped in here. That was a nifty play from Fire. But you won't see that at all, because we'll have other things down here. And they are going to implement a few cool things before we actually launch on Thursday. And I hope to see you there. But I should probably talk about the game, guys. If I was streaming, I would say salute the Capture Age team, but I'm not streaming right now. This is a super cool rated game. So, you see here, ACCM, he's not on his way to Feudal Age. He's going for a Drush, and he's going for full wall. This map is Golden Pit, so you have 6 tiles of gold per player, and you can see the 6 tiles there for ACCM. And then for Fire, you can see his 6 tiles here. And then the rest of the gold is in the center. And Golden Pit's pretty cool because more than one player can be in the center at the same time. And also going to the pit puts you at a disadvantage if the opponent's military comes in. Now, Fire's also going for a drush. This is just meant to buy time so they can go for fast castle. But he didn't realize that he'd have pressure coming in towards him. It was very late with the scouting. And this is already very successful for ACCM because all you're meant to do is delay. And he's just delayed his opponent from the berries. And he's also going to take out the deer. And Fire will just end up sending his militia back because ACCM's base is already walled. Now, both of these players are participating in Hidden Cup 3. I won't know their identities. They'll be playing with hero names. But they're both in excellent form. If you're brand new and you don't know who ACCM or Fire is, then... Whoa, what is this? What is this? Did we just witness a bug? That's actually hilarious. Is that a fish trap which has been destroyed? Okay, so I'm going to send that to the team. That's freaking hilarious. I know the Capture Age team doesn't think that's funny, but I don't know what caused that. But anyways, if you don't know who these two players are, they'll probably make some waves in Hidden Cup. 11 minutes in, you can see the amount of villagers and amount of military they have. And now you can see here that ACCM is on his way to the next stage. After a very successful drush. I mean, the mill is on fire. Okay, the scout goes down, whatever. This Dark Age rush is probably as good as ACCM would have wanted. Only downside is that he lost his scout. And the common follow-up behind this is to go for archers. Oftentimes you see crossbow. And, you know, Saracen crossbows, they do a lot of extra damage versus buildings, which is really cool. And a mirror matchup, I think that I could see that working out for both players. Fire still hasn't clicked up to the next stage, but it's because he wants a few extra villagers after being off of his berries for so long. He's going to need a bit more food. And there he goes to, wait for it. He doesn't have the food yet. There, now he has the food. He clicks up, feudal age on the way, perfect. So you have feudal age here, and you have feudal age here. I really like the way this looks. Excuse me. Well, it's a pretty passive start, but that's how Gold Rush or Golden Pit games go. Sometimes it can be a slower start, and then there's a big all-in rush towards the center. Yeah, that's funny to me. The Capture Age team's got to be pissed off that any bugs have been visible to our community, but... You know, what's the point of testing it if you're not going to run into a bug or two, right? I feel like so far, we can't see too much here. Once we see how the game plays out, because players will have to go for some pretty interesting strategies, then you'll really get to see these casting tools in use. You do have the amount of town centers down here, castles and relics, the KD. The value, if you haven't seen this before, I think it's been common on overlays, but that amount there is just how much that unit costs. So a scout is 80 food, so you have 80 there, and it's 0% because it does not cost gold. So I think a militia, for example, and you might have seen it yourself, 60 food and then 20 gold, that's 80 resources. But 25% of those resources is gold. So it would show, yeah, like right here. Now you have an archer, and it's 64% gold for that archer, and it'll show that with army comps. So actually, it was a nightmare start for Fire. Fire, he does have the resources. He's getting close to clicking up to the next stage. He's going Blacksmith Market, and with Saracens, they have the market bonus, and that's going to come into play in this game. Trust me. And he is... Oh, that's actually an archer range. Sorry, there's the blacksmith. But he's going to buy a little bit of food and be on his way to Castle Age as well. But he is a bit behind. He's a whole minute behind. And now check this out, guys. If you want to see the upgrades for the players, you can now see it at the top left. You can see ACCM has his bowsaw upgrade. Now you can see that he has the horse color upgrade. Then in Castle Age, this second box will be light blue. And it will show the bowsaw icon if you research bowsaw. So this shows the most recent research. And then for other ones, like you have ballistics. Obviously, there's no double ballistics doubt. Sorry. So it's just going to light up. Pretty simple. I'm going to be toggling this on and off because I feel like there's a lot of the screen that's covered up. For the main event of Hidden Cup, we're going to have some different things here. Sorry, not here. I believe it's going to be down here covering all of this up, as well as some information on the sides. Nothing too crazy, but I like to remove this when it's not important. And right now, it is kind of important, right? Because we need to see, do they even have fletching? And you see fletching just came in for both of them. And you can also see that Fire's been making skirmishers. You look to the top right, Fire's making skirms, which is interesting. So he just flat out expected the archers. And he said, okay, I'm going to the counter. Be a little bit dicey for him, though. ACCM is already trying to bust his way through this wall. Now, this whole game, I want you guys to remember how important that gold is going to be. Alright, that gold's going to be huge. And, so keep that in the back of your minds when the players are fighting. Yes, ACCM is looking to attack Fire at the moment, but ultimately that is just so he can take map control. Alright? Elite Skirm is on the way. I have to say Fire has done a good job dancing. And Bod Canero is now on the way for ACCM. Bod Canero means he can maybe dance a little bit more, but he's lost a crossbow, and he almost lost another one there, and Fire didn't even have a lead skirmisher, and skirmishers with armor are so tanky. Fire pulls the weak one away. He does get another crossbow kill. The bear is going to help out, and I think Fire has weathered the storm. He's done a good job. Now right here, there's not a big difference. There's a 2-vil lead for ACCM. And at the bottom left, you'll see he's just on 1 town center for now. Okay, and immediately that shows you he's on 2 TCs. So he took the map control. Unfortunately, couldn't kill much. But he's microing, and now he's added more economy. That's the best way to do it. I would say if I could give you guys a tip at home, best thing that you can do is only add extra economy after you have some decent map control, or after you fought for map control. It's very hard to judge, of course, but that's probably the best tip I can give you, so you don't get caught with 3 town centers and then a bunch of siege and crossbows show up to your base. So a slight villager lead for ACCM. He has 7 crossbows, but he's just losing them, man. The lead skirmisher choice from Fire was really good here. The downside of the lead skirmisher is that you can't really be all that aggressive with them. Like, you can't snipe villagers as easily as you can with crossbows, and you can't address siege, so Fire's got to get out of here. But the KD is pretty good, despite the fact his army is not comprised of any gold. Now, what's cool about a golden pit game with Saracens is that if you don't have gold, you can sell wood and you can sell food for it, and you get more gold in return from selling those resources. And what's super funny about Gold Rush games or Golden Pit games is that normally the person in the center will have weaker food and wood economy, so they might buy that, and you just have the prices going all around back and forth. It's so fascinating. But man, I'm really impressed with how Fire has microed in early Castle Age. I like how ACCM has added the Mangonel, but Fire doesn't seem to be too hesitant about taking any fights here. Maybe he should, though, because, well, the Mangonel finally does some damage. And he's adding his own Siege Workshop. Now, guys, the one thing that is just a DE bug, again, I'm not going to shy away from it, just brings us back to the fact that DE didn't really think about spectating. Like, Microsoft didn't prioritize spectating at all. Check this out. Bottom left, we're trying to work on that, but I don't know if there's a fix for it. Unfortunately, that text there, it's such a simple thing, right? We can't get that in white, as far as I know. But, you know, just so you guys keep that in mind when you're giving feedback. Everything else is really nice here, and oh, another big Mangonel shot for ACCM, but Fire just wanted to micro down the Mango. He loses 2 skirmishers, though. And some of these are low HP. These skirmishers are 1 big Mangonel hit away from getting flattened. But do you see the difference here? Do you see the difference here? There's not much. Not yet. 53 villagers against 50. You can also see that here. This number, remember, the small number is how many of those units are queued up. And it's also, like Fire, for example. I guess I shouldn't look away when there could be a fight, but Fire, see how only one of his town centers is producing vills? So yes, he has 3 town centers, but he doesn't have vills queued up in all of his TCs at all times. So you guys can easily see that information from the overlay. And even ACCM, like, it's very obvious just how idle their TCs can be at times. Like even here, he has one of his town centers not producing villagers in the center despite having 3 town centers. But he does have a town center up in the middle on that precious gold. Both players lose a unit. Again, Fire, he seems pretty confident going into these fights, and it's a risky game to play. And he splits away. I have to say, beautiful work from Fire with the micro in this game. It's 13 kills to 13 deaths. Oh no! I jinxed him! Fire, I'm so sorry. Oh man, that hurt. And we knew it was coming too, because these skirmishers are so weak. He also needs to make sure that when he's firing, he's not firing from the bottom of the hill, because then he does less damage. Or I guess more specifically, ACCM receives less damage. It's kind of tough for ACCM in this position, because at any moment, Fire will have another Mangonel out of the Siege Workshop. And, oh, good micro from Fire. Okay, so he's killed 2 with 1 Mangonel. And if he takes care of this one, oh my goodness, ACCM, that attack round was beautiful. Still, though, the skirmishers are going to take care of the crossbows. It's just the Mangonel numbers making the big difference. Yeah, if you get full armor on skirms, especially, crossbows, they just can't do anything. It's the pierce armor. You're looking at 5 pierce armor. Crossbows do 7 damage, so they're doing 2 damage a hit. And just wait till the final armor upgrade comes in. It's super expensive. I don't know if it's really worth getting. And now I'm going to show you the eco techs. Neither player has wheelbarrow right now. Both players have the same farm and wood upgrades. And you can see the armor upgrades for the archers up at the top as well. And now Fire wants to go to the middle to build the town center. So for Fire, it's a bit more risky. It's been slightly worse for him for most of the game, actually, after the failed drush on his part, and now he's been going skirmishers against Mangonels. But ACCM is very much focused on this area, and if ACCM is focused on this area, and there's a wheelbarrow for Fire, ACCM might not even see that this is going on, and you'll notice he doesn't see that, which is incredible. Now, what's the title of this video? The Tale of Two Castles. Oh, what upgrade does Fire have? He has Redemption. Huge uphill shot. Will he convert the Mangonel? No, he will not. Redemption tech can be huge in Siege Wars sometimes. His monks can then convert Siege, but 3 monks, 300 gold just down the drain for Fire, so it's very good that he has control of the center. But again, when you have a Siege Workshop like that, you can so easily hop out and surprise someone. And what I wanted to complete my thought, I wanted to say the title of this is The Tale of Two Castles. That's the best way to secure the center. Man, there's so much carnage. ACCM. Oh, man. What a close game, though. What a close game. You could see here, it's 9-6 with the military, or 6-9, depending on how you look at it. Nice. And just a 10 villager lead for ACCM. But that could change in an instant, depending on how this game plays out. So, when are the castles going to go up? When will players feel a sense of urgency? That is now the question. By the way, it just has not worked out. These monks has not worked out at all for Fire yet. Okay, Fire is building a castle here. Now watch ACCM's resources, top left. Watch those resources. He sees the castle. He didn't see the town center. He sells resources, then buys stone, and he's going all in to build this castle. Now, for the first time in a while, ACCM, it even looks like he wants to push in somewhere here. But now he's going to send the crossbows in. He wants to stop this castle. These castles will dictate how the rest of this game goes. Imagine if Fire just had 5 more villagers there. 5 more villagers. That castle probably would have already been up. It's at 75% now. I know it's really hard to see. ACCM's castle goes up. Now, 75% is still doable. Right? That's got to be still doable. You can maybe distract the castle Fire, hop out of here. Fire's getting ballistics for himself. It's quite a close game. ACCM has had a slight lead, though, throughout most of it. 126 population against 113 for Fire. Fire's town center is on fire, so he might as well make a move here. And if you're in ACCM's shoes, you have to target the villagers. I don't know what's going on here for Fire. This might be a misclick or... Oh, he tried to garrison and he realized he can't. That's what happens. Yeah, Fires is kind of falling apart here at the moment, guys. 131 population to 111. But yeah, you'll need to use your Castle Fire intentionally to target vills, because what Fire will do is try and use ramps. He'll try and use skirms. He'll try and use anything to distract the Castle Fire. It's at 82% right now. Now, he can still take some of this gold. Not so easily, but he can still take some of that gold. And you notice this right here. Fire has a lot... Well, not a lot more military, but he has more military, and it's ACCM who has more economy. You see what I mean about the rams? Use the rams to soak up the arrow fire. ACCM is using the castle to intentionally target the villagers. But there's a lot of villagers here, and Fire has 2 rams on ACCM's castle. Well, it's not called the tale of a castle and a failed castle. No, it's a tale of 2 castles. And now this is what you saw in the thumbnail. Both players have a castle up. This is pretty ridiculous, isn't it? Now, another thing that's awesome about this overlay is keep an eye on the amount of villagers that players have on each resource. We have petards for Fire. He'll send in a few petards. We have petards for ACCM. Both players are making petards. Both players desperate to take the other's castle out. But Fire is somehow winning this, basically due to the rams. Now, if ACCM creates Mangonels or his own rams, he could maybe try and take this out. He cannot comfortably repair it. Neither player can. I don't know what's going on with this petard. Alright, the petard hits. The HP of the castle is at the bottom left of your screens now. 1600 HP for ACCM. This is ridiculous. Now, Fire, meanwhile, he realizes, alright, I'm going to raid the food eco. I have tanky skirms. Let's go. And let's make a move. ACCM is on his way to the Imperial Age. Can he keep this castle up? I think one thing that Fire possibly hasn't done as good a job with is taking out the repair bills. He doesn't have his own repair bills here, and ACCM has turned it around. Pretty incredible. This is really going to hurt the economy for ACCM. You can see the idols there, 26 idols. But he does have, well, no, they're both at 90 villagers, actually. And you can see the amount that are idle for both of them. It's a ridiculous game. Have you ever seen 2 castles at the high level sit next to each other for this long? No, that petard, that was a waste. I was actually watching both ACCM and Fire's point of views during this game. And so, trust me, it's easier said than done, this game. It was incredibly hectic for both. 2 petards hop out for Fire. That was a big change. But I'm still looking at a whole bunch of rams here. And Fire, you know, he either failed to snipe the repair bills, or he really needed a Mangonel or 2 there. It looked like he had it for a while. But ACCM turned it around. Okay, so this is where I want you to focus on these numbers right here. Right? Fire does not have easy access to the gold in the center. That's true. But he does have 8 more lumberjacks, and he does have double the amount of farmers. So that means if Fire maintains more food and wood economy, he can sell. Alright? And that would give him gold. Now, let's say you're in ACCM shoes, and you don't have the food for upgrades. What are you going to do? You're going to buy. Now, you have to try and resist the temptation, resist the urge to buy, because it does in turn help Fire's prices. But, you know, you've got to sort out your food and wood eco, and you got to do your best here in ACCM shoes to take advantage of the extra gold. Now, I think Bombard Cannon is probably the first play. He does not even have Bracer yet. He can't afford it. He also doesn't have Chemistry. And Chemistry takes a long time to come in. You'd see what the Arbalests are still doing to the Siege Workshop, though. Here we have a total of 3 Arbalests inside the ranges. And Fire is on his way to the Imperial Age now, and he's building a castle here. A Fire who has not really hesitated at microing against Mangonels. He kind of needs to do it here. And I think even if he takes losses, it's worth it. Because the castle has to go up. It has to go up. He's going to take losses. He's producing more. You can see there. So, and he also has a bunch more skirms. The castle goes up. The castle finishes off the rest of the Mangonels. And, okay, well now, what's ACCM going to do? Again, still, 16 on food for ACCM. 38 for Fire. ACCM has a Treb now. Now, the lack of the chemistry upgrade is so bad for ACCM. You see that now? You see how long it's going to take? Thanks, Hidden Cup 3 overlay mod. I guess we can't say capture age technically, but that shows us the exact time that that upgrade is going to complete. And Fire is going to complete his chemistry upgrade just 25 seconds later. Now you see a real difference with the numbers of military. It's 40 military versus 20. And Fire has skirmishers which counter the arbalest. Fascinating how important the food and wood economy has been on a map where the focus is so often on gold. I feel like, you know, I don't know if a lot of maps like this were played way back in the day. But the players are so good now that we run into these types of situations. I don't know if we would run into these situations in 2010 meta. I feel like, you know, back before the players... I mean, there were some amazing players, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say that there weren't legends of the game or anything, but I just don't know if players had the ability to adapt like they do today. And I could be completely off base with this, but 152 population for Fire, and look what a simple upgrade like Capped Ram does for him. Capped Ram, he takes out that Siege Workshop, and he could just push ACCM's food and wood economy. That looks like it's what he wants to do. Meanwhile, Fire, he's running low on stone. He needs to buy some stone, but he doesn't have the gold, so he might need to sell some of that food, sell some of that wood. You see that? And then buy stone. So complicated. There is Mangonel inside that Siege Workshop, so he has to be careful. And he's obviously aware of that, though. And takes a loss. Actually, will receive... Oh, no. He's good. Just one hit. And he'll continue his push there. Oh, God. I'm sorry. I just dropped my phone. I always keep it in my lap. And I just... Sometimes I get too excited, you know? And it just falls out of my lap for some reason. ACCM built a castle here to stabilize his food and wood economy. It is not near as good as Fire's. And Fire is holding on. And he also snipes a bombard cannon there with his trebuchets. And he has his own. So, Fire, you're definitely in the position where you need to make it count. Every single siege weapon you make, anything that costs gold, you have to make count at this point. ACCM, I mean, you could obviously say the same, but he will have more gold income to make more bombard cannons in Siege. ACCM has just failed to do a lot with the Imperial Age. And why? It's because he has, how much on gold? 38 villagers on gold. That's why. Okay, I think this is another thing I'm going to have to bring up. What is that? What is that? I don't know what that is. And we'll bring that up to the Capture Age team. Seems to be we're only seeing that with ACCM. And we saw it in early game. There's no docks here, so... How's your micro, ACCM? How's your micro, Fire? Fire's micro is better. I think Fire's micro has been better all game. The KD doesn't really show that, but I feel like in the crucial moments, Fire's micro has been better. He's also been fighting with more vulnerable units. He wasn't really able to push any further there. And he's pulled his focus with the skirmishers to this castle. And no villagers on stone for ACCM. So he's just buying stone to repair and hold. Repair and hold. Repair and hold. Pretty ridiculous. You could tell Fire's focusing on his micro. The economies are just... they're pretty bad for high-level players. There is some stone here that ACCM can take, but it's so close to Fire's bombard cannons. So we saw the two castles. The question is, can Fire come back? He has the score lead right now. He has way more military. And the economy, there's not big of a difference. There's not that big of a difference, excuse me. Just more on what resources are being brought in. Both players have idols. Now, I didn't point it out, but if you pay attention, if someone ever gets pop-capped... Oh my god! They both took big losses there! Oh man, 3 bombard cannons down for ACCM and 2 for Fire. That was crazy, but if someone gets pop-capped, the area will blink up here. So in Hidden Cup 3, we'll we'll be able to see who MBO is. Look at this Mameluke go. Oh, he's a legend. Well, he was a legend. The Bombard Cannon was overconfident because of the Mameluke. Okay, let's pull this up again. Let's look at these upgrades here. So, as far as the wood and the farm eco goes, they've had the same upgrades. You see two-man saw is on the way for fire, so I'm going to show you what that looks like here. No hand card for either player. And then we do have the same upgrades for the range units as well. But just ACCM has been able to soak up the gold. He's still making Arbalest too. I feel like he's kind of okay tossing away a few Arbs every now and then. Because he can make more of them. It's actually more difficult. In theory, it's more difficult for him to make skirmishers than it would be to make Arbalest. Because of his economy setup. Even trades there with Bombard Cannons, but it's getting more and more urgent for fire to actually push this. He just has a slight population lead, and this was the risk of going out here to the stone. ACCM doesn't have anything to protect the stone miners, so he'll lose a bunch of them as they now run away. But fire mined a bit of gold. ACCM spots that. He says, no way, Jose, sorry. I'll clear out those villagers. As he now pulls his Bombard Cannons over to defend and fire. This is his point of view. Will he react in time? Fire, you've got to keep these units alive, my friend. He does react. That's honestly sick micro. Because he was pulling vills away from here. He was sending in skirmishers. I see stables. So Fire now is getting the armor upgrade. And bloodlines. So he's thinking, you could go Hussar here. Obviously start off with light cap. Oh, that attack round was huge from ACCM. And also, oh, good micro from him there as well. To get a Bombard Cannon kill. Now, there's a raid over here. This is pretty disastrous. We have 19 villagers. Actually, that's 22 villagers pulled aside. And Fire just... I don't know what this is. It's like he's trying to wall an army in. And he's losing most of those vills, but I guess also the skirmishers are able to get some kills. Might be a more effective way of dealing with the threat. I think Fire's slowly starting to realize that while ACCM isn't easily pushing him, he can't seem to push ACCM out of the center. There's far too many Bombard Cannons being created from ACCM. Fire can only afford a few more. And in a Saracen's War, if you start to commit to just skirms and just light cav, you could possibly see something we don't see very often, guys, and that's the Mameluke. Mamelukes are incredible. Now, you see a few of them, but the upgrades aren't really in. Nothing crazy just yet for ACCM, so it's kind of a tough unit to justify going for, because they're so expensive, you need castles for them too. But there are 3 castles for ACCM, and maybe he'll just sprinkle them in every now and then. Now, I think ACCM getting gold mining and stone shaft mining this late is really sloppy. I also feel like he should have handcart, as should Fire. Fire doesn't have the second farm upgrade either, so the economies, I guess, could have been better by pro standards. Someone out there in the YouTube comments has probably already figured out what this is. I can't click that. It doesn't... Well, I mean, I can click it. It doesn't do anything for me, so... Hard for me to say. But if the game slows down like this, that normally means tech switch. And ACCM has spotted the fact that a stable tech switch is coming in. Which is why he has a few Mamelukes out. Now, you could also just make Arbs, too. Like, you have the gold, so... switching to Hussar or Light Cav, the purpose of that unit is really to take care of skirmishers. So it'd make a lot of sense in ACCM's position, but ACCM, he just bought resources. He's going for Elite Mameluke. Still doesn't really have the farm number, and he has to be hesitant about buying too many resources. But he wants to go for Mameluke, and now there's handcart. A 59-minute handcart when Fire has probably had the resources to go for a while. That hurts. That really influences how many resources you're able to bring in with your economy. Okay, but here comes the move. Fire, he does have full defense upgrades on the light cav. He has the skirmishers behind. He has more military. He has 70 military. Can he make it work? Can he get some gold access? On this side, ACCM's micro is really good. He pulls back the arbs. He knows the skirmishers will die to the bombard cannons. It's calculated. Here, the Saracen Arbalests are making quick work of the stables. The score has switched, which is normally a huge indicator of what direction this game is going. It's based on how many kills, based on your population, based on techs. Now, there's a super late handcart for ACCM, and he's been getting these stable upgrades too, which applies to these now elite Mamelukes. Now, you really need Zealotry on the Mamelukes. It gives them extra HP, but otherwise they're pretty low HP unit. And combined with Bloodlines as well, the stable give you extra HP. And that was not a pretty fight for ACCM. If he has normal amounts of gold, but he has 50 villagers in the center, 54 on gold. Fire says, this is my time. It's now or never. It seems impossible to push here. I have to take this castle out. He's tried a bunch of times. But 4 bombard cannons now. 4 bombard cannons. ACCM has 4 of his own. Can ACCM get some pickoffs here? Or will he lose the center and Fire will have some type of a miraculous comeback? How sick would that be? Look at this. Look how many villagers are going to need to be pulled to repair this castle. It's so close to going down. The HP's at the bottom left now. The Arbalests are just focusing down the bombard. Well, actually, they're not focusing down the bombard cannons. And the castle goes down. Is this Fire's opportunity? Ridiculous, guys. It's skirmishers versus arbs for the most part, but dum-da-dum-da-dum-da-dum-da-dum. Here come the Mamelukes. The Mamelukes are coming in. Mamelukes with full defense upgrades now. They don't have full attack upgrades, but look at them go. With Arbalest behind. And then still, you know, having full access to gold. The bombard cannons, they go down and Fire. I think now he knows I cannot afford any more bombard cannons. He can sell still, but the composition is so much stronger for ACCM. Now, as I say that, without Zealotry, and without the other attack upgrades, which is very much missing at the moment, you look here, I think ACCM could actually struggle against the amount of skirmishers Fire's making. If you're making like 30, 40 plus skirmishers can be really good. Also, it's worth noting, you can see here, Fire has 1 relic, and he has this one in the back, so we can get 2. You can maybe get 3, but relic gold is so insignificant compared to the amount of gold in the middle here. You guys will have to tell me in the comments, but did anyone else get the vibe of Fire being, I'd say, the more proactive player? I guess it makes sense because he doesn't have the middle. But to me, it seems like this whole game we've been talking more about what Fire's been doing. Or what Fire hasn't been doing. And ACCM has just been reaping the benefits of the gold. Here, ACCM makes a move. You know, ACCM, an argument for him here, I guess, is just that the more population he takes out of the middle, the less defense he has for it. This is kind of funny. He sees that Fire has something inside the monastery, and now that's a relic ejected for Fire. A little bit less gold. I love these Mamelukes, though. Still no Zealotry, which makes me sad. Still no Zealotry. And the Fire still missing that farm upgrade. And you rarely see pros get the final farm upgrade. That one right here, what's that called? Crop rotation? That's rarely researched by all pros across the board. But I feel like you're looking at 4 Pierce Armor on the Mams. But if you get the extra HP, they're at 130 HP, and they're super mobile. Mass ranged units are really good against them. But, come on, man. Just get it, ACCM. Everyone out there who's an appreciator of the Mameluke is upset. Actually, I shouldn't say that, because he's using the mobility for them beautifully. And Fire still has a much higher military count, but if he can't push the middle, ACCM will just slowly get a higher military count himself and also a more devastating army composition. What a messy game, huh? A Golden Pit, Gold Rush produced some of the best games because of how crazy they can be. The Blast Furnace is on the way now. Now, I think you could easily justify going just Mameluke and Hussar. You don't really have the food income for it, but just Mameluke and Hussar would make a whole lot of sense here for ACCM. Because Mamelukes are not perfect against the skirms. Hussars are. You could also just go for Heavy Camel. It's weird because I think if this was any other Civ matchup, like what's a Civ that gets full ARB and skirm and bomber cannon? Let's just say I was gonna say Ethiopians, but I don't think you do it in an Ethiopians war either. Byzantines. There we go, Byzantines. Let's say it was a Byzantines war that played out like this. You'd probably see a switch into Cavalier, but Saracens don't get Cavalier. Yeah, Mamelukes even without Zealotry. Oh no, they have Zealotry now. There you go. Look at that. Look at that slaughter. Beautiful. And the GG is called. I think Fire either realized that ACCM was researching Treadmill Crane, or he sold the Zealotry upgrade. He actually felt like it was over for quite some time. So it really came down to the castles. Imagine what this game would have been like if Fire would have somehow killed that castle in the center of the map. I wish I had instant replay. You know, if I had instant replay, we would go back and we would talk about what happened there. But I think ACCM, he did a better job with using his Rams against Fire's Rams, and he just came in with more. And maybe Fire, when ACCM's castle was half down, figured, all right, I'm going to clear it out. And then a couple minutes later, he was regretting not paying as close attention to it. Because remember, he sent his skirmishers this way. It would have been the perfect double whammy, probably the GG move, if he idled those 30 villagers as he did underneath the TC and kept his castle up. Maybe instead, you bring those skirmishers here, you hit the repair villagers, and you win the castle war first. So just slightly misjudged from Fire, and hell of a hold from ACCM. I don't know what this is. It says there's 9 of them now. Oh, I thought it was gates. But there was a gate behind it. Well, anyways, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this game. And if you have any feedback on this overlay here, please let us know. Keep in mind, a lot of this space, when I'm using it for Hidden Cup, it's going to be covered up. This space is to show anything I select. This space down here, you're not going to see. And there will be some pieces of information here and here as well. So I know it looks a little bit bland in this area. But, no, I was able to give feedback to the Capture Age team. And, we've been working on this for a while, or they have been, and I've been giving feedback. And I really like the state that it's in. I love this here. I think this is really cool. I love the idols. I love the population. It makes a whole lot of sense. And this will also build into our Hidden Cup 3 scoreboard. And while we're talking about the Hidden Cup 3 overlay, I should say, YouTube, I know a lot of you guys have never stopped by a live stream. I know a lot of you guys have no desire to stop by a live stream. But if we're going to make history for Hidden Cup 3, I would love for you to at least give it a shot Thursday through Sunday. Especially now. The world is in a crazy place. And who even knows what's going on right now with the coronavirus? So many people are off work. Well, I'm not, okay? Sports events, they've been canceled. There are less excuses than ever to make it to Twitch and stop by and enjoy Hidden Cup 3 live. So wherever you're watching from, I would appreciate it if you come out and see the live event. Obviously, everything will be on YouTube in due time. No worries there. Now, for Hidden Cup 3, I should just mention this. This screen is going to look completely different. The way that this casting overlay works is it just grabs data from the game. So this does not look particularly exciting. That is going to be changed, and that's going to look very different come Hidden Cup 3. We'll have a special screen for it, okay? But there's the KD for you if you didn't already see it at the bottom left. 461 units killed for ACCM. It was really Fire's army numbers. That extra wood and food gave him so many skirms. Yeah, look at that, man. He had 37,000 food collected. He didn't have that much more wood, but the food is what did it. But look at the gold from ACCM. Stats considered, I think that Fire should be pretty pleased with his performance in this game because there was a 20,000 gold difference. ACCM was slightly faster to feud lanes. Remember how successful his Drush was. In terms of momentum, he definitely got to the key areas earlier in this game. He got the militia forward. he got to Castle Age faster, got to Fire's Base, he got to the center faster, he got to Imp faster. And I guess I'm going backwards here now, sorry. The relics, maybe Fire should have got those relics a bit earlier, but it didn't change too much in the end. So guys, I hope you're pumped for Hidden Cup 3. I'd love to hear your feedback on this casting overlay, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Tomorrow I will have another upload because on Thursday is when Hidden Cup 3 arrives. So I will have another upload tomorrow and maybe even another upload after that. I think I'm going to have 2 to 3 uploads right before Hidden Cup 3 hits. And you'll hear me talk about more details there. Have a nice night, everyone. See you at Hidden Cup 3.